All right. So we're diving in. Thank you so much for being here. Very excited to chat today. And I'm going to teach some things. And while I do, feel free to send any questions into the chat. And if I catch them, I'm happy to answer them in real time. Otherwise, we will have Q&A at the end. I'll be with you for about 30 minutes today. So we'll have about 10 minutes at the end for Q&A. And with that, we will dive in. So today's class is about the transformative power of tinctures. So all about tinctures, and our example today, the sort of specific tincture that I'm also going to dive into and talk about the ingredients and benefits of, is the new Rosé-Tinted Glasses, of course, from Apothecary. So I'll get into this after I get into tinctures more broadly. But before all of that, hi, I am Rachelle Robinett. I'm a registered herbalist and the founder of Pharmacon Supernatural. I am an advisor with Apothecary now, which is a great compliment and something that's very exciting because I care a lot about education, and Apothecary cares a lot about education. And so together we are going to be bringing you a lot more of that. Herbalism, information, inspiration, how to, and really just whatever it takes to make this accessible and practical and useful for you. So if you have questions about, how to make this work in your daily life, no question is too small. Let us know, let me know. That's what I'm here to do. So I want to make it really, really work in daily modern life. So today's class, Tinctures 101. Let me just dive into what tinctures are to start. So a tincture in herbalism is a concentrated liquid extract, right? This one happens to be a very pretty tincture. Mostly tinctures are not this pretty. They're often a shade of brown. But to make a tincture, what we're doing is extracting the benefits from the plant, the medicine, if you will, the nutrients, the phytochemicals, the goodness that we want, the active constituents. We're separating that from fiber and water. So, at the end of the process of making a tincture, you have this concentrated form of all of the sort of active goodness from the plant, and you've discarded the water and the fiber. And tinctures are one of the ways that we extract from plants, right? So most of the forms that we consume herbal, products in are forms of extraction. So we have tinctures, which I'll talk more about, obviously. We have teas. Teas are a water-based extraction. We have powders. Powders are, typically concentrated. And in that case, we're removing the water. We also have elixirs or syrups or things called oxymel. So you think about an elderberry syrup, that's not quite as concentrated as a tincture. The dose, the size of a serving is about, a teaspoon, couple teaspoons, maybe a tablespoon, whereas a tincture is a couple of dropperfuls. So that's a less concentrated format. Essential oils, all of these are extraction methods. So they're all different ways of getting, the medicine, the function out of the plants and into our bodies. The other thing that extractions do is make those ingredients, those, I'm just going to keep calling it the medicine or the benefits, because it includes so many different active compounds and so many different kind of constituents. So the extraction makes those very easy to absorb. And tinctures are typically the most bioavailable, which means the most absorbable format that we can get our herbs in. So the tincture format is very, very efficient because it's so concentrated that the serving size is very small, right? A couple of dropperfuls. It's very absorbable. Often we're absorbing it through the mucous membranes in our mouth, or, if we're swallowing it without it kind of, sitting in our mouth, we're absorbing it through our gastrointestinal tract. It hardly even needs to pass through digestion. So it's a really quick way to work with herbs. You can get the benefits quite quickly. They're also shelf stable. So, dried teas, tinctures, powders, when we concentrate by extracting these, benefits from plants, we're then putting them into a shelf stable format that can sit in our pantry, or with tinctures, be in your purse or your car or on your desk, or, travel with you. So we have concentrated, absorbable, shelf stable, portable is another great feature of tinctures, and very easy to mix into food, water, tea, just about anything. So I put tinctures in food recipes, in hot tea and cold tea and sparkling water, which I'll show you a little bit later, or directly in your mouth. And one thing that's important to know about tinctures is that they're typically either alcohol-based or vegetable glycerin-based. And apothecaries are vegetable glycerin-based. And so because of that, it's something that you can put directly into your mouth. And while it's possible to do that with some of the alcohol tinctures, it's generally not advised because they're so concentrated. You're putting that alcohol right on your sensitive mucous membranes in your mouth. But with these, it's actually delicious and gentle enough that you could just drop it right in your mouth if you wanted to. All right, so that was kind of a lot. Before I move into some more of the specifics of this tincture, does anybody have questions about sort of tinctures overall? I'm going to review just sort of the highlights and watch for any questions to come in. So tinctures are one of the ways that we extract the medicine out of herbs. It makes it concentrated, shelf stable, absorbable, portable, all of these things. And then we have a very small kind of serving size with a quick effect. All right, everybody's clear on tinctures. Okay, great. Well, if you have questions about tinctures, as I'm moving along here talking about the ingredients, just let me know. So in terms of diving into some of the specifics of the rosé all day, so this tincture includes hibiscus, schisandra, rose hips, lion's mane, eleuthero, and chrysanthemum. It also has vegetable glycerin, like I mentioned, and strawberry. And that combination of herbs contains so many cool benefits. It would actually take longer than we have today for me to run through all of them, but I'm going to give you some of the highlights of the ingredients. So overall, what you're getting in this blend is an uplifting daytime blend of herbs that can be used for stress management, especially if it feels like fatigue and you're looking for more energy. It can be used as an alcohol alternative. So that's one of my favorite ways to use tinctures across the board. Tinctures are so easy to have, anytime you would want to have a drink. I use them almost daily at happy hour, just kind of open my cabinet and look through the tinctures and think what state do I want to create? How do I want to feel? What do I need? And just add them to sparkling water. And you have your mocktail. So let's see if I can do this with one hand here. So in terms of the apothecary, so you have the rosé all day, right? And I have my sparkling water. And you can literally just drop it in, stir it around, tastes great, happens to be beautiful, and you have a cocktail, right, that has all of these effects. So this tincture also is helpful for energy and cognitive support. And because it's uplifting, the recommendation is not to have it after about 3 p.m. Obviously depends on what your schedule is, but it's not something that's meant to be used before bed. It's more for supporting your energy. One question that I know is common is, how often do I need to use it before I feel the effects? Something like this, you can feel the effects right away because, like I mentioned with tinctures, they absorb really quickly. However, the more often you use it, the longer you use it, the more those effects can accumulate for you. And there's a sort of, there's an exponential benefit to doing that. So with that, I want to move into the ingredients because the very first ingredient is Schisandra. And Schisandra is an adaptogen, and adaptogens are a perfect example of herbs that are intended to be used every day, long-term, to work their magic best. Also, this is not a class about adaptogens specifically, but if you have questions about adaptogens, please ask because it tends to be a big point of confusion in the market right now. So Schisandra berry is an adaptogen that to me is very similar to L-theanine. Does anybody use L-theanine as a supplement? A lot of people tend to know it as a peaceful, focus, kind of cognitive enhancing amino acid, which it is. And Schisandra has effects like that. Really, really wonderful for cognitive function, clarity, focus. Additionally, I mean, we could talk for an hour on just Schisandra, but additionally, it's an adaptogen, which means that it helps to improve our stress response. So all adaptogens help to basically make us more resilient to stress. We respond better and we recover more quickly. And that especially is that function that, the more often you have it, the more it can sort of support you long-term. Very, very good. Adaptogens are great for, again, our stress resilience. They're working through the hypothalamus pituitary adrenal axis in our brain. Schisandra, because you can see, the color in this tincture, you have multiple different ingredients that are bright berries. The Schisandra berry, you have the hibiscus, you have the strawberry. All of that is kind of a signal to their antioxidant content. So you're getting lots of skin benefits. I saw a question here come in about moodiness. Does it help with moodiness? So Schisandra can be great for that. It does depend on what's causing the moodiness, right? So if stress is causing moodiness, then absolutely, Schisandra and adaptogenic herbs like the eleuthero that's also in this tincture would be great for that, right? So yes, depends. Depends on the cause. My answer is almost always depends on the cause. Let's see. So antioxidant rich, we have lots of skin support, hepatoprotective, which means that it's great for the liver, digestive tonic, and so much more. Also menopausal hormone support for Schisandra. This herb has some of the longest lists of benefits that I've seen in herbalism. It's really, really profound. And actually in Ayurveda, it's considered a rasayana or a tonic. And so that's a sort of overall rejuvenative herb, really great for just kind of systemic balance and optimization. So like I mentioned, there's also eleuthero in this tincture. Eleuthero is sometimes called Siberian ginseng. It's another adaptogen. So you're getting more stress support, you're getting energy support, fatigue, irritability treatment. So if your moodiness feels like irritability, this is your ingredient. Stress-induced hypertension, so much more, endurance and workout recovery. Adaptogens are great for that too, because stress is exercise is a form of stress, right? It's a good stress, but it's still something that we have to respond to with that system and then recover from. So let's see. Also, we have lion's mane mushroom. Lion's mane mushroom is amazing for nerve health, especially in the brain, but throughout the body. It's considered a nervine. So you have, regeneration, nerve care, again, like nervous system support. Lots of people use lion's mane as a kind of nootropic to enhance cognitive function, mood. This is another, so you're here, I'm checking your moodiness box here with another one, lion's mane, great for anxiety. Let's see. We also have rose hips. Oh, so rose hips is another one that I didn't mention in terms of the antioxidant list. So you have the rose hips along with the strawberry and the hibiscus and the schisandra. Again, rich in antioxidants. You also have vitamin C content in those ingredients. That's a building block for collagen. All right. And hibiscus is another, I mean, these are some of the greatest hits in herbalism, I would say, in this blend. So hibiscus has also so many different benefits, from metabolic support to treating allergies, blood sugar balance, antioxidant rich, kind of cardiovascular system well-being, skin health. And then we know it for being cooling, right? It's very popular in the summer and in the heat for a reason. And it's very hydrating. So that's another great lineup there. And then chrysanthemum, also a nervine. Chrysanthemum is a really beautiful flower that is also cooling. It's used a lot for skin conditions. And anytime we're talking about skin, it applies internally as well. So mouth, throat, gastrointestinal tract, gut health, all of that is going to be, benefited by the same ingredients that might be helping with a kind of topical skin application. And actually chrysanthemum is used topically as well, but of course we can drink it too. We have strawberry and then the vegetable glycerin. So like I mentioned, all of those have been extracted, right? So they're all concentrates and they're in that base of vegetable glycerin. And this is all organic. And in terms of using it, just like you use any tincture, right? It's a couple of dropperfuls. The directions are always on the bottle. So that's your, if you have questions about dosing, you want to follow the directions on the bottle. And then drink, this one up until, several hours before bed. But the more often you do, over time, the more of these benefits you're allowing to kind of accumulate in your system and work their goodness for you. So much more I could say about it, but I do want to leave some room for questions. So if you have questions, please feel free to chat them. Michaela, also let me know if there's anything that came up for you that you want me to address. I'll have a sip of my tincture in the meantime. All right, so I see the moodiness question. I think mine is more PMS related. Yeah, so in terms of hormone balance, the schisandra can help with that, depending on the specifics. And then, I always like to recommend considering liver health. So that's a really big player in hormone balance. We kind of forget that our liver is helping to filter hormones out. And when it's working really well, then our hormones can normalize a bit. A lot of things contribute to hormone imbalances: stress, sleep, alcohol, caffeine, diet, lifestyle, environment, all of that. But, one thing that can help in addition to that list is liver health. So if that resonates, that could be something to look into. All right, so we have a question here. What liquids are best to add the tincture? Oh, yes, that's great. I'm glad you asked that, because I didn't mention. So the tincture can be added to cold liquids or hot liquids. So a lot of times there's questions about tea, is it too hot? Will it deactivate the tincture if I add it to hot tea? It's completely fine to add to literally any liquid. You can also add it to smoothie. You could add it to oatmeal. Because this one tastes so good, it tastes like berries. Anything that would taste nice with a berry, flourish, this can be worked into. Desserts, ice cream, like literally you could put it over ice cream. That would be very fun. So really the sky's the limit. Anything you're motivated to. And again, this one, because it's vegetable glycerin base and it tastes good, you can also just put it right into your mouth. I love traveling with tinctures. I always have one like on the airplane with me. So that would be, if you're in a pinch and you just like want a dose, you can do that. Let's see. So the next question is, the other tincture that apothecary provides assists with relaxation, correct? Yeah, I think you're mentioning, let's see if I can reach it. The take the edge off, I assume. I have it in the box. I haven't opened this box yet, but so the take the edge off is like the white wine alternative tincture. And yes, take the edge off, relaxation, nervous system support. You have skullcap, passion flower, linden, and oat. All of those are nervine herbs, so they're supporting the nervous system. So the answer to your question is yes, definitely. Let's see. Can you give an overview of the other tincture? Is it more for relaxing at night? I know you said this one was more energizing. Yeah. So Stephanie, yes. So this one, the take the edge off, would be for chilling out, and you could definitely have that one before bed. And then the Rosé-Tinted Glasses, you could have every other time of day. Morning, midday, afternoon. You can have it at night if you're going out or staying up. Maybe, if you're like, this would work at night if you were working on something, and wanted that energy and that focus. It's not about, jitters or any of that kind of stimulation at all. It's about this kind of endurance and, clarity, this sort of, is level and supporting you. So we have a question from apothecary. Oh, so this is a question from just the community in general. In general, are there concerns with taking multiple different tinctures or mixing with adaptogens longer term, daily use for months? Example, can you use take the edge off, stop your whining, astragalus, and maca, and 5-HTP? So I love this question because in general, herbs are meant to be used in blends, in layers, over, daily, for long periods of time. One of my favorite teachers compares them to eating vegetables. So you're like, well, I ate the broccoli and it did the good thing for me. Like, can I stop now or should I stop now? And it's, the answer to that is no, keep going. Eat broccoli and lots of other vegetables, forever. Now that's a generalization. Some herbs are meant to specifically kind of heal something that's broken in the body or the mind, or they might be, short term to change a state, right? But generally overall, most of the herbs, are fine to mix and meant to be used regularly long term. If I could give you a little preview of, how many I use on a daily basis and how they're all mixed, it might make you feel a little bit more comfortable. But, I think to say that, really briefly in a way that I find very inspiring as well is traditionally, meaning by Indigenous people globally, historically, forever, until, modern medicine, herbs are used in blends. So they're used in, combinations of several or more, period. And it's only a newer thing that we start to use these, what we call singles, right? So generally mixing them all is completely fine. Think of it like a really great salad, and you can add all the ingredients that you want for all the different benefits that you need. It can be perfectly personalized. And that is part of the beauty of herbalism. It can fit you exactly for anything that you need. There is at least one herb that fits like a lock, like a key into that lock. Awesome. So Laura said, what other tinctures are available beside the two? Only the two, right, Apothecary? Then the next question is, so is this tincture good for working from home for focus? I can't seem to sit still at my desk when taking calls at home. Great for focus. It's great for focus, great for energy and focus. I mean, especially the Schisandra, the lion's mane, those two are like prime focus herbs. The eleuthero gives you a little bit of like stamina, I would say, endurance and stamina, and then you're just getting a lot of additional kind of health benefits from the others. So those are the ingredients I'd credit with that. Yeah. Apothecary says, yes, only the two tinctures for now. Stay tuned for more. I'm happy to stay on and keep answering questions, but I do want to make sure to give you a little gift here before anybody hops off. So again, feel free to stay on. I'm happy to answer questions. But thanks for joining. We have a code today for 15% off. So the code is Rachelle, all caps. And I know Apothecary will drop it in the chat for you. There you go. And there are the details. Perfect. So again, thank you so much for joining. If you have more questions, please feel free to drop them in the chat. I see one from Megan. How much throughout the day are you dosing with this? Yeah, great. So it would be definitely just start with the minimum dose to see how you like it, right? And I would recommend working with the minimum dose, for, a couple days. Give it a little time, see how you feel. Every day is different. Our bodies are different. You may have a full stomach versus an empty stomach, and then you can increase from there based on what you need. Always might as well just, start low, go slow. It's good advice. How do I use a tincture and a signature blend like the rosé colored glasses? Renee, ask your question another way. I don't think I quite get it. I don't quite understand what you're asking. Because the rosé-tinted glasses is a tincture. Yeah, ask it another way. Let me see if I can answer it for you. Tony says, I'm trying to give up coffee, but now dragging through the day. Yeah, this is something that can help for sure. Yeah, coffee is a tough one to quit for sure, but it has great benefits when you do, or even if you just, cut down to a little bit of high quality coffee each day and support your energy with other herbs. One of the things that's wonderful about adaptogens, actually, this analogy was one that I'll always remember. Coffee is kind of a taker. So coffee will just sort of, push adrenaline and cortisol and force our system to like work, right? It's like gas flowing out of the tank. And adaptogens are like filling up the gas tank at the same time that you're burning that fuel. I didn't say the analogy quite as well as I heard it, but that's the concept. They're actually filling up our gas tank while we're using that fuel to perform, right? And like I mentioned, it's helping us to respond better to life. So we're more efficient with our energy, and then we're recovering more quickly and better. We're reaching that homeostasis. So instead of peaks and crashes, which coffee is notorious for, you get this stable energy. And it's a whole new world when you have that stable energy. Oh, great. Okay. So I see so Renee's question, how do I use take the edge off with stop your whining? Totally. So, I mean, you could use them at the same time if you want. But since one is, more relaxing, one is more energizing, I would use rosé-tinted glasses up until about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And then I would switch to take the edge off. So for me, I tend to have a lot of energy. So when it's like, that happy hour time, dusk, after work, I go straight to the like chill herbs, help me relax and calm down for the rest of the night. If you're using rosé tinted glasses, during the day or up until, evening for your energy instead of caffeine, for example, it's also going to be easier to relax into the evening. So I would do that. I would do rosé during the day, take the edge off at night. But again, if it's like, I don't know, if it's a Sunday afternoon and you're having a picnic and you want to put them together and have relaxation and a little energizing, you absolutely can do that. There's nothing wrong with that. All right. Well, thank you all again for being here. I love your questions. They're very fun. They're the most fun part. I have so much information to share with you always, but we will do it in a future session. I hope you now understand tinctures a bit more. I hope you have tinctures in your life. And if you don't, I highly recommend picking one up. There's such an easy way to use herbs. So easy. And it's really fun. It's very fun to like drop into sparkling, or look, I bring them to parties, my own little stash. All right. Well, thank you all. I hope you have a great rest of your day, your night, wherever you are. We'll see you again soon for more herbalism information.